Yo, welcome to another installment of Noob Chess Analysis. Today we're going to be looking at a 10-minute rapid game where I was white and playing the London. This game was all about pressuring to the point where your opponent makes mistakes and ends up giving you some material. So let's dig right in. Again, playing the London, not going to go through every London move. One thing to note about Black's opening here is he plays e6, which actually blunts this bishop and kind of sticks it in his place here, I guess, unless he's going to fianchetto. But yeah, overall, you got to bring that bishop out first because now it's going to be tough to develop this one. And one thing that you probably know by now, if you've seen any of my other videos, is I play the accelerated London, which is c4, and that takes initiative there, puts pressure on the center, and also if they take, you can just take right back with the bishop. Against the London, should be thinking about playing c5 as Black so that I am forced to play c3, but with the accelerated, you can throw that up there, put some pressure on. I continue to develop. One move that I actually discovered from the post-analysis of this game was the move here, knight to b5, which I actually have never played this, but I often have this position. So it's actually a good one to see. And what I'm doing is attacking c7 twice, and he only has one defender, which is his queen. And there is no other way to defend this with another piece. So he basically has to lose a pawn here. The only real move here is to castle. And if he doesn't castle, let's say he does something like just moves his knight, well, he's about to get forked, right? And he's going to lose his rook. And obviously he cannot take. If he took, he'd lose his queen. So it's a tough position for him to be in. And, I didn't play that because usually what I do is I take here and then I start putting pressure on this pin. That's what I'm normally doing. And I guess I could have taken and then also thrown my knight up. But what I like to do is add pressure here. But, hey, it's good to know about this move. I'm going to be implementing that in future games. And here I like to put more pressure on the c6 square here and just see how he reacts. Sometimes they react poorly and end up losing a piece, but he does the right thing. He says, hey buddy, we're gonna end this game here. I ended up taking because why not? And then yes, we're getting a direct hit here on the queen, so we got to move the queen. And this move back to b3 is really solid because even though this is defended by the bishop, you're still putting pressure on it. And then also you're hitting d5 twice. So you now have two attackers on d5. He also has two defenders. So you can't take it yet. But it is nice to have this defender here. And the next move, he reacts to that pressure, right? He didn't like that I was adding it here. And if he ever moved his bishop, then I could just take. But now you have an undefended bishop. So you got to put pressure on that bishop. And it also forces him to make a single move. He only has one move here, right? So he can move this way or that way. And again, you got to remember, right now he actually has three defenders here. And so he has to move back to continue to defend the square because I'm attacking it twice. If he moves here, which he did, he actually blunts. First of all, he loses a single defender by moving the bishop. Secondly, he blunts the queen, right? So now the queen is no longer defending d5. And now he only has a single defender, his knight. So this opens me up to be able to take it. He can take back, but then I have my queen. We end up a pawn here, and actually we're plus 3.5, which is very nice. Our position's very solid. Everything's defended very well. And just a really tight, solid position. It wanted me to trade here, but I really liked the pressure I had on a lot of his pawns. So I wanted to save my queen in this position. And as you can see, he makes a mistake immediately. And by going here, this is only defended once, and I'm attacking twice. So I can take, and he loses another pawn. So this pressure is really starting to add up. And you can see here, I have two attackers. So he moves it down, seeing that pressure. But what he does here is he has no defenders on this pawn now, so you can just take it. It's a free pawn. So what he probably should have done here. Well, actually, I don't know what his. Yeah, he's just gonna lose this pawn. There is no way to protect this, right? Because if he tries to protect it with his rook, then you can just take this pawn that's hanging. So his position is so wrecked at this point that he can't do much to save pawns. So yes, gives me the free one, and yeah, he sees like my position is so strong right here. Just everything's defended nicely except for the B pawn, right? And he sees that the one weakness, this B pawn, he tries to attack, and not seeing that this bishop has this angle, and that's basically GG, right? So now I'm defending this pawn that was weak, and he attacks but drops a pawn, and now it's just tuck away the queen, and let's start developing. He helps me out by simplifying the position, giving up a rook. We've got a rook trade, and now it's just like, let's move our pawns up, right? And he goes like back and forth, and I'm like, okay, I'll just keep moving this up. So now we got an interesting position. We got an undefended rook here. This is attacking, but I'm defending. So look at this move here. It's kind of sneaky because he's obviously looking here. But I'm attacking this undefended rook. He sees it, and now he's attacking twice. So I actually have to move up to defend or to attack this. And what I'm doing here is I'm forcing a trade with the rook. So I'm saying, hey, I'm willing to give up a pawn to simplify the position even more, right? Because he has to take with the rook now that I'm attacking his undefended rook. But he, he's excited about attacking this twice, and he takes with the bishop, not realizing that this is undefended. So he had to take here, and then we're going to trade, and then I'm, actually, it doesn't work at all for him. He's just kind of screwed, right? Because now I'm going to take this also. So I actually hadn't analyzed that far, but yeah, either way, like I'm so far ahead here, it's just... he's in big trouble. And at this point where he dropped this rook, he just, resigned, which is an acceptable thing to do when you're down 14. Anyways, this all happened just from that one single amount of pressure, the losing that pawn. Anyways, that's it. Things have been going really well in terms of my chess. I've been on a rampage lately. We can just go check it out. I broke 1100 in rapid for the first time ever, and it's been the past week. Things have just been clicking really well for me, so I'm just on this huge upward swing, breaking 1100, and almost, I'm getting up in the 1100s too. So pretty positive. We can look at all time. See, this is where I started. Back in September last year. The 900 ranges were tough for me. I took about a 2-week break, and then played a bit on Lee chess as well. But now, things are clicking. I'm starting to really get a good feel for defending my pieces. My attacks are strong. I played a lot of London. I played a lot of accelerated Dragon, Sicilian. So things are going really well. I also broke 1100 on Blitz for the first time ever. So just on a good upward swing here. This has been slow and steady growth on the Blitz. Totally different game than Rapid, I would say. Anyways, I'm just going off. Check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/yobeebs. Say what's up. All right, have a good one.